It's my job to maintain and manage the vision and holistic drive to make sure that Warhammer becomes the best MMO ever.
Jeff basically has a big stick, and he's like your dad. He walks around going, "No, you can't do that. I said get it done by Wednesday. No, you cannot go home early. Tidy your room. Tidy that office. Send me that memo." There's a big stick, and he hits people. And the reason he does that is because if the game doesn't work, he gets hit with big sticks regularly.
You know what I've been using recently is I put my stick down and I've got this big glob of that crazy molding clay stuff that's like silly putty but different colors and changes colors when you squeeze it. So I have a big glob of it and I roll it into a stick and I hit people with that and it goes, oh,
big wobbly thing. Leaves a dent on their face. That's probably very sensible.
Who are you?
I'm Paul Barnett. I'm the creative director.
How do you say your last name?
Barnett.
Remember that.
I'm the creative director, which means that there's a big vision document, like Jacob's vision document, which Jeff has got to deliver as a game. And my job is to work like as a true magnetic north, trying to say, no, we're going in this is what he means. Which means that I get to walk around and ask for things that people generally think are crazy, and then I get precious about them and say stuff like, no, we really do need chickens, and there needs to be more feathers, and it needs to be a bit more like Vegas. Is that fair?
That's all true.
That's fair, yeah.
So since Leipzig, when you first introduced the High Elves, talk about the stuff that you've added and talk about how the beta's going.
Wow. Stuff we've added since Leipzig. Holy
7
smokes.
years to your life.
Yeah, a lot more gray hair.
Gray
added
hairs,
to my
wrinkles,
head.
stress.
Dark elves and high elves are in a really great place for us. We've got all of the areas of the game done for Dark Elf and High Elf. We've got all the classes done. They're playable, on their way to polished. It's feeling good, it's looking good. How about you, Paul?
So, we're doing the sexy bit, because we've done tentacles and scabs and people with no teeth and arms missing, and whereas the Empire is, most, like, fancy games are like what they're like chiseled chins and tan skin and white teeth. Warhammer is more like tan teeth and white skin and a face like a sack full of chisels. So what we're going to do the beautiful. We're going to do the emo dark elves with their long hair, live forever, and we're going to do the oh so clever high elves with their poshness and their pristine cleverness and their clever moves and their magic. And that's been interesting. So the artists have been able to do some new cool stuff. We've been able to put lots of people with bows in.
Our beta testers are saying this,
which you can't read. Just imagine it was great.
People will zoom in on this and go, "Oh, look, that's what they're saying."
Look at your nipples.
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
What that was for.
Yeah.
What else have we been doing? So we've been putting in a new land, which is the Elven land, which is like Pixie land, but it's sort of gone evil because the Dark Elves have turned up. We've been able to put in loads of the stuff that people claim we were lying about, because we were actually telling the truth. You can really do most of the crazy stuff we said, squigs and stuff like that. Yeah. We've been able to fill out the systems, put them in and test them, and beta is all about chucking people in, showing them something that's sort of half-baked, sort of in the direction we're going, then looking about how it works, listening to the feedback, listening to the responses, checking what our quality levels are, and then Jeff telling us what we have to change.
And then fully baking it.
Fully
you
baking
just made it
it.
sound like the game is half-baked. That's not true.
No,
it's mostly baked.
Yeah, but from the 6 months ago, you got to take bits of it, haven't you, and sort of put it in, and you sort of go, is that working?
It's about iteration and polish right now.
Iteration and spoken like a producer. It's about making PQs less crap and more fun. It's about making careers so that they're kick-ass and fab. It's about making RVR awesome and interesting. Is that the same as iteration?
Yeah, sure. And plus it's finalizing a bunch of systems like the armor dining system, the trophy system, that kind of stuff.
Crafting system.
Crafting.
Then talk for a moment about how the beta's going and some of the feedback you've gotten, and how it's impacted something like, let's pick something like the career system.
Wow. Okay.
And stick specifically to chaos.
Chaos.
Destruction.
Do you like
Dark elves?
I like that. Chaos, destruction, the bad guys.
The bad guys.
Okay. So beta's going really, really well. The kind of feedback we're getting, like let's take careers for example. When we first went into beta, and we've been in beta for almost a year now. When we went into beta, we had a lot of feedback from the testers on careers, on what was good, on what was bad, on what they liked, what they desired more of. So a lot of what people were saying is they wanted more diversity, they wanted more differentiation in their careers, both in how they look and in how they play, so that my Chaos Marauder is different than your Chaos Marauder. So that's what we've been working on really for the last 6 months is, as far as the career team go, is working on differentiation, making it so there are multiple career mastery paths to go down, making it for each career, making it so, your Marauder might play a little bit different than my Marauder, even though they perform a similar role in the game.
Wow.
Well,
That's sort of like what I was going to say, but not. It's about representing and polishing and allowing people to see what you were really getting at. So if you take the career system, originally we had lots of tactics and things, and you sort of mixed and matched, and you got them as you went through the game, and you unlocked them with a tome of knowledge, and it was actually really, it was good. Trouble was, it wasn't presented in a way that made people go, oh, I understand, I've got a lot of choice, it's clear, I can make definitive choices. So what we did instead is we redesigned the career window, we redesigned how we presented the information. So rather than saying, here are 20 abilities, you can sort of pick the ones you want, we actually went, here are 3 individual definitive paths you can choose, and you can go down them, and we broke up the abilities so they're in each one. And we said you can mix and match and get better at one and better at the other. So like a representing of the career. That was directly from feedback.
Absolutely.
Another bit of feedback was public quests, which are sort of a new idea, a new concept we're playing with. And we wanted to know, how do the careers play out? Where do they work? Where do they not work? And then when we put the careers in, like the Dark Elves and the Chaos careers, let's see. The Chosen, people were very happy with how much tanky stuff he was doing, but they also wanted him to be able to do a lot more choppy stuff, so we put that in for them. The Marauder was way more successful than we thought he was going to be, so we really umped like the special effects, the things he can do, how much he can show off. What else did we do? We took
modified every career in one way or another.
Yeah, for the better. Obviously, loading
Absolutely.
it towards chaos.
We did things like the Bright Wizard now has a mechanic where he uses combustion. So he literally, as he's playing, he's building combustion up, and if he builds combustion up too much, he explodes. Building combustion.
Calling on the forces of chaos and his head's exploding.
Okay.
In fire.
Yeah, there you go.
Rain of fire. In a cool way.
one of the things you had mentioned was a little bit about that you had adjusted the loot system, particularly in the public quests, based on, as I understand it, a trip to Vegas. So could you,
You need to talk about that.
so could you tell that story and talk about
I'll be
how
way
that
boring
feeds
about that.
back into the game?
Well, this is sort of insight of what creative directors have to do. We have this public
Go to
quest system.
Vegas.
They always go to Vegas. It's where we meet.
Right.
It's where you find. It's where you hire them.
Isn't it where you're bred?
It's in casinos.
Yes.
So you look at the public quest system, and the idea is you go in, you have a great time, something monumental happens, and you get something. There's a chance of getting some treasure, loot, fat loot. And I was having a look at it, and I was going, yeah, it's sort of interesting. It's sort of going there, but it's a little dull the way we presented it. So I was off at Vegas, and I was playing a slot machine, which he hates because he doesn't believe there's any fun in slot machines.
It's not.
So he doesn't believe there's any
It's
fun
all about crabs.
It's all about crap.
Go ahead.
And I was taken by this slot machine and how when you were trying to win something, lights flashed and it sort of moved around, and I was going, oh, what am I going to win? What am I going to win? Is it going to be $80 million? No, it's a free drink voucher.
Which is why slot machines suck, because you never win anything.
No, I enjoyed it.
Unlike PQs, which are awesome.
So when I came back, I was standing in the room talking to Jeff, and I was saying it's about Vegas, it's about bags, it's about not knowing what, it's about mystery, it's about pick and mix, it's about all sorts of great stuff, mystery bags of things, and there should be numbers that roll.
And did I kick you out of the room and tell you were crazy?
Twice.
No,
but
I did
on
not.
the third
I said
time,
I love you.
on the third time, he said, "Do you really, really give a damn about it?" And I went, "Yeah." And one of the jobs of an executive producer is to know when to give a bit of rope to the crazy guy. And I said, honestly, give me the chance to just work on it. So what I did then is call in some sensible people, designers, and talk them through it. And I ended up with an idea that was about that big. It was quite exciting. And I had to realise that they were only going to let me have this idea. And it's only going to be this big.
It's still Vegas.
But it was still exciting. And we put it in, and right up until the moment we put it in, there was a portion of people who basically went, Paul's gone.
I think you're crazy.
Crazy. Yeah. It's stupid. He keeps talking about Vegas. He doesn't understand. But when we put it in, and people actually got to see the idea, they went,
it's awesome.
it's quite jolly, isn't it?
It's awesome.
Quite jolly, that's the English